And with that, we're into a game two. Once again, this is Stall out of Europe. This is the second game between Stalk and OG, the the new name for Monkey Business, the newly formed syndicate. I don't know what officially. I read their Facebook statement and I wasn't getting it. Anyway, once again, I'm Llama Down Under. I'm going to be joined by PQMZ. What do you think Stalk needs to do differently? I feel like banning the Shadow Fiend is a good start.
Yeah, I like the bans, especially because it's Radiant OG again, so giving them Shadow Fiend would have to pick around it, and they're obviously opting to avoid that. I hope they don't first pick the Gyro again, even though it did well in the lane, it just isn't... They didn't have the ability to use it how, like, if you remember how C-Deck did it at TI5, where they smoke ganked at, like, level 6, they just didn't have the best heroes to do that with, which is how I feel Gyro still excels. I don't think he's the best, like, teamfight hero, which they were trying to make him out.
Yeah, but they go with it again. It feels like this hero, after the nerfs, he just doesn't come online fast enough with enough damage. On the lineup of OG, they got up their BKBs really quickly. Early game Gyrocopter's all magic. He didn't have the right clicks.
Yeah, I still think it's a strong hero, but I don't think it's first pick worthy anymore because teams are going to know how to deal with it, and you'll have to pick around it now as opposed to just kind of throwing it into any lineup because it was a broken hero. So I hope they pick a bit more around it this game and pick like slightly less teamfight base and more aggressive early game so they can actually utilize it. Maybe have like a second core like they did with the Alk, but maybe something that's a bit stronger in the lane, like a TA or a Quap, I don't know, something else.
Yeah.
Think with it.
Feels like he does need something to make space for him, but I don't know if you saw the graft. Either way, they have a Dazzle on OG. They picked this hero a crap ton for Fly. My stats are a day old, so I may have missed some of the games yesterday, but Fly had like 15 games on Dazzle with a 66% win rate. Like, dude knows how to play the Save My Idiots hero. For something I was going to mention is the whole Quap thing. Quap is picked and banned a lot, but doesn't actually have a fantastic win rate, which I thought was really surprising. So, but OG full minus Alma strat, and I'm liking this. Gyrocopter is not exactly a tank. I mean, he's a helicopter, so you'd expect him to be able to withstand some beatings, but he is in fact very squishy.
Helicopters are pretty fragile, you know, if you hit them with anything in games, they just blow up, so...
I mean, but real life, I don't know. I have not actually interacted with a real life helicopter. I imagine they have to be pretty stable.
No, but this isn't a realistic game, right? You know, like when you play Grand Theft Auto or anything, you just you accidentally hit it against a lamppost and boom, your helicopter's dead, or your plane's dead.
So
and
maybe...
you know, this is better though. I like the clock. This is how it used to be played, and it's a similar thing. As soon as the clock gets 6, as soon as the gyro gets 6, you can go around the map and pretty much kill anyone that doesn't have an escape. At the moment, Slardar and Dazzle are pretty susceptible to that.
Yeah, and it seems like a nicer pickup. You've got some issues in that the Dazzle might be able to keep whoever's alive, but certainly if this Clockwork finds someone alone, they're probably going down to the battery assault. I say as I bump my desk a bunch. Hopefully that wasn't too loud, folks. Windrunner ban out, though. Wasn't expecting that one.
It's so good with Slardar. And I think Miracle's Windrunner is also very good. I think most of his are very good. But...
that is in fact how you get 8,000 matchmaking points, is my understanding, by being good at all the heroes.
Shadow Fiend and Windrunner spammer.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not on his competitive hero list. It's not more than 3 times played, so I didn't have it on the radar, but I can understand it.
Maybe Notel plays it, because it might be more of a tempo controlling hero as opposed to the hard one, which is generally what Miracle plays.
Yeah. It also just could be something where it gets banned out against him a lot, and so won't be seeing that in his picks. But the Undying ban out, so I understand that OG maybe worried about a Hell lane. I'm not quite sure where this Undying would go. Like, you put it with the Gyro, are you really having massive kill potential?
5 seconds.
I think it's something Stark have run a lot, especially before they became Star. They were 4 anchors and a sea captain. Like, they used to run a lot of Undying. So maybe it's just something they don't want to deal with early aggression to make their lanes just a bit easier to pull off.
Yeah. So
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, I was also surprised because OG run this a crap ton on Fly as well. I think he's got an obscene win rate on it. It's one of those things where it's really hard to tell because OG is dominating, so when you look at their hero win rates and you're like, that's significantly
10
above
seconds
average. It's hard to tell how much of that is actually like they're good on the hero versus they're
5
maybe
seconds
playing against some
remaining.
of these tier 2 teams in a lot of matches. Either way, dominant performance. And the TA banned out. Stark doesn't want to see
Radiant
any more
team
minus
win.
armor. And I wouldn't be surprised if Stark goes for a Lich here to try and deal with some of this.
Maybe Lich wouldn't be too bad. I think it depends how strong the safe lane of OG is if you look to pick up a Lich. Or maybe you look to do some aggressive tri-lane with Zajara and put the clock against the Slardar, which I think is a fine matchup for clock. So
Yeah.
that's an option for them.
10 seconds remaining.
And I wouldn't
5
be
seconds
surprised. OG could also. I feel like the Lich is bad here for OG, just because maybe
Reserve
wanting some more
time.
lockdown between their supports.
Winter Wyvern.
I think the Wyvern's a
Dire
better
team
option
pick.
because Lich is one of those heroes that's super susceptible to clock in general. He can't kill him when he goes in on you, and you can generally isolate the Lich in fights as the clock. So it would be a strong laning presence with the Slardar, but I prefer the fact they're going for a less susceptible support in the Wyvern. And it's also really good against the Gyro in terms of countering his BKB.
Yeah. But a
Radiant
nice pickup to
team
counter
pick.
both the Dazzle's healing and the Wyvern healing. While AA, it is actually hard early game to hit a lot of heroes with that blast, and yeah, it's pretty short early game before you get up your Ags. It's certainly something where Wyvern will cold embrace a target to save their life, and you just drop that ice blast on them. And they're suddenly having a very bad day. At the same time, he's not the strongest in lane. He needs someone else to help him set up the cold feet if you actually want it to
10
proc,
seconds
and
remaining.
not sure how well that's gonna go for them.
5 seconds
I think they
remaining.
could quite easily get something that sets up either a Rubik or just any kind of stun. Maybe Avenge wouldn't be
Reserve
too bad
time.
either. Been seeing that hero kind of come back a bit, and it suits what Dark want to do pretty well. It gives them a way of saving their gyrocopter when it gets initiated on. Helps them with Roche as well, which is something they should probably be looking at because Gyros are really strong with an Aegis, and they have decent team fight already around the pit. I'd like to
Yeah.
see Avenge if possible.
I feel like both of these teams have nice pit fight though. It's one of those whoever's in the pit I feel may suffer. Just because if Stark is in there, they could fall prey to the Winter's Curse, the Slithering Crush, which has a huge AoE. I'll show that in game. Its AoE is actually obscene. And now the Jug pickup, so this could just be an early push lineup from OG.
It's a really good fighting lineup as well. Jug's really good against the Pluck Gyro early because even one level in spin does the job at dealing with their burst. So harder for them to kill. He's
You think it's still
kind of susceptible to AA.
Yeah.
10 seconds
A
remaining.
little bit surprising that they picked another hero into AA, but at the same time, you can
5
potentially
seconds
do,
remaining.
I think, maybe you stick the Wyvern Jug in one lane and then the Slaughter Dazzle
Reserve
elsewhere,
time.
and you can't AA blast every single lane.
You're worrying about the AA blast at minute 1, you're having some problems.
Yeah, I know. I just mean later on when I'm expecting the group up and push just from this lineup of OG. Maybe every now and again you group up and push because you've got crap tons of sustain, and then if you all take an AA blast to the face, it's not fun. But at the same time, before the Aghanims, it's not the
Radiant
biggest of
team
threats,
down.
right? You're only 8, 9, 10 seconds long, and this AA is probably not going to be level 6 until maybe even 12 minutes into the game, depending on how much stacking he has to do and so on.
Yeah, OG could definitely find a window before
10
Stark have
seconds
everything, but it's
remaining.
quite hard for them to just push because Clock is decent with deep pushing.
5
You
seconds
go for the
remaining.
tower, Gyro is very good at defending it if they want to do that. So I think it's
Reserve
going to
time.
revolve a lot around pickoffs for OG at the moment and control of the map as to when they look to push. I don't think it's just a butt your head against towers and
Yeah.
wait for them to fall kind of lineup.
So, now for last pickups, probably looking for a strong mid laner for Miracle or No Tail on the lineup of OG.
Dire
And
team
Stalk
back.
also, so they're worried about the Lena mid for OG.
I think that's a good hero against everything OG have right now, so sensible ban. And again, it's an awkward hero to lane against.
Yeah, also
10
sometimes just
seconds
blows
remaining.
up one of your heroes. Wyvern, Cold Embrace, not going to do so much work against
5
Alina.
seconds remaining.
But it means that the mid heroes that are super viable, I mean, Stark could again go for the
Reserve
Alchemist.
time.
Didn't have much success last time, but maybe you try it again. Bit of a different game.
I don't think it's ideal But they get to see the hero that OG pick first, so they can adapt what they want to do with their mid, opposing to what OG do. I wouldn't mind seeing a mag from OG. That could be hero. They might look to go for something that's a bit more of a core though, and have Slardar just be the initiating hero, as opposed to letting him scale at all.
I actually completely agree with you. I would love to see a mag here. It would add a bunch of team fight. It would also help the Juggernaut flash farm. We've been seeing quite a few Juggernauts in competitive going Battle Fury just to help them farm even faster. And by having a mag, it means the Jug doesn't have to worry about that. So really nice there. And
But the more I think about it, it's hard to play mag this game because Clock can find him out. Rubik's also really good against the hero.
Team pick.
So while it works well for your lineup, you do have to worry about the fact it's not the best against Starks. They have ways of dealing with it.
100%. We
I
also
like the Invoker ban out though.
How do you feel about just a Razor pickup from OG for the mid? Pretty strong, should generally do pretty well in that lane, and it can kind of be their frontline-ish tank, eventually get up an Ags for pushing.
Might be a
10
bit
seconds
too all
remaining.
in, especially as you don't see the hero from Stark yet. Razor's one of those heroes you want to
5
win his lane.
seconds
If he doesn't
remaining.
win his lane, he has a lot of trouble. And the supports from Stark have pretty good ganking ability, and
Reserve
Razor's
time.
not the tankiest hero early, so it might be a bit of a susceptible pick.
What about
I
Beastmaster
like the
mid?
idea behind it though.
I'm throwing out more heroes. Beastmaster mid. Analyze that. No, I just think it's another
It
hero
gives them
that...
the map control they need to get pickoffs. That
Yeah.
could be a good option.
And it would help with the inner beast is actually such a powerful passive, and getting up those necro books would also add another attack speed bonus for them. So this Juggernaut's going to be hitting hard and fast. So a lot of different
Yeah, I
options.
think I'd like that more than the mag actually.
Also, potentially, I'm trying to think of other heroes that would maybe do well against Clockwork
10
and so on,
seconds
and
remaining.
I'm not sure. A Venomancer could be... Okay, it's the Beastmaster. We'll just say I'm a genius.
Dire
We'll go with
team
that one.
pick.
No, I think that was a really smart idea actually. I find it really hard when I don't have the hero pool in front of me to list off options.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's...
I kind of just think what's in the meta, and
Yeah.
most of it's banned out right now. So I really wish there was like a pop-up when you're spectating, so you can see the hero pool.
And it's the Ember Spirit. I was just about to mention that. I think that it's really rough here. I was actually going to suggest Ember Spirit, maybe potentially for OG, but they actually don't run the Ember that much. Feels like Ember in Europe kind of got a spotty record, but that is neither here nor there. We see it like in every single America's game. So, but yeah, I think the Ember's actually terrifying here. I would not want to be the Ember player for stock because you've got all this minus armor. As an Ember Spirit, you can't deal with physical damage, and Beastmaster has quite a bit of physical damage. Slaughter, of course, amps up the physical damage you're taking. You're dealing with a Dazzle. Like, they have a lot of lockdown on stock, on OG, to deal with this Ember, so a bit surprised that stock went for it and not OG.
I think it works well with Stark's heroes, but this is one of the games where I don't
10
think it's an Ember
seconds
game at
remaining.
all. Like, they have the pick-off from Startup Beastmaster. It gives you a lot of
5 seconds remaining.
threat when you try to split push, which is what you have to do this game. You cannot fight into OG unless you're ahead, and while he can get ahead from the laning stage because his supports are good at roaming, and they can definitely kill the Beastmaster if he doesn't have good vision around, or they just smoke through his Hawks. He can get a laning state, he can get an advantage there, but if that doesn't happen and OG happen to get ahead, he's just got to play the split push game, which is not ideal this game.
Yeah.
So it has to go well for them to work. I don't think it's a lineup where they can afford to fall behind with this Ember, because then it all falls on the gyro.
100%. And that guy, as we saw last game, he needs quite a bit to hit like a truck these days. Either way, let's get into it. We got Fly on the lineup of OG, which we don't know what it stands for, but he's rocking that Dazzle. Wyvern's going to be played up by Crit Jug on Miracle, leaving us Moon on the Slaughter with a little extra horn crown thing. Or is that meant to be his light dongle? Is like sticking. That is his light dongle. I thought he had a horn. That's new.
30 seconds.
And No Tail on the Beastmaster. This guy has played this hero crap ton. I think he has a 90% win rate. Yeah, last time I checked, there may have been some games yesterday that changed this up, but had a 90% win rate on Beastmaster, which is a little obscene. Tossing it over to you.
His micro is amazing, honestly. Over for Stark, we have Boogie on the carry gyro, Varlix on the AA, Trixie on the offlane clock, Nymphy on his Ember, and OKC on the Rubik as we have a fight.
Yo, we got the chilling touch already out, but there's a spin. Jug not taking anything. Moon actually gets a stun up on 3, and his OKC are going to be the one to go down. Miracle, he needs to catch up, but he can't. And it looks like a lot of people super low on the lineup of Stark, but no one able to seal the deal. This is still pretty painful for Stark. They have a number of people who might as well just go home to the fountain or need to use up all of their regen, weakening their laning phase. And it's Miracle mid!
Yeah, I actually like this more because the Beastmaster is quite susceptible, like, to the ganks, whereas Miracle, you can't kill him. He can spin TP out every time, or he can just spin and run away.
Yeah.
So this is smart from OG. And having the Dazzle here as well pressures the Ember a lot, and OKC is way too low to do anything.
Yep. Because of that early engagement, OKC is not in a state, it feels like, to be harassing it out. No Tail's gonna have a nice lane against the Clockwork. I feel like the Beastmaster has a grand old time since he has Boar to be a pain in your arse. And then you've got Wyvern as well, backing it up. Crit already doing some pull-in action.
I feel like OKC needs to let this mid thing happen. He needs to go top. He needs to zone out Moon entirely because they have a really strong lane. But if he gets his levels and the creep equilibrium goes badly for Stark, he can easily find out Varlix on the side if he's trying to pull or anything.
Yeah. So
they should completely zone this slider. He's really important right now, and they can actually kill him a lot.
Telekinesis, but they have Chilling Touch first, and he manages to stun so many of them, and the Chilling Touch comes out too late. Okay, I feel like a bit of a mistake. I think that they should probably wait for 2 on Valix, and then it's easy kills, as you said, because level 2 means you can ensure generally that the Cold Feet will snap. But a little bit of a mistake. They all grouped up on the slaughter, and actually taking a lot of... Okay, he's just suiciding to creeps. I wanted to show folks this. This AoE is huge on the Slithering Crush, and that's how he's able to catch all 3 heroes constantly. It is actually the biggest. I guess Ravage is the biggest.
We've Ravage, yeah, they're all huge spells.
So, but yeah, Slithering Crush, not an ulti, is huge. That's all we're gonna say about that. Beastmaster has an Orb of Venom as well. So if he catches Trixie here, Trixie's just gonna have an awful time. It feels like Borslow, Orb of Venom on the Beastmaster. Like, you're a jerk,
Yeah, this is a nightmare
actually.
lane for the clock.
Yeah.
Losing 1v1, and he basically has to play it like he's against 2 or 3 heroes.
Yeah, which is really surprising. Clockwork, generally a hero who does pretty well in 1v1 matchups, but... Awful lane. Awful lane. That's all I want to say there. Miracle also having a grand old time in mid. He has as much farm as the Gyro top. He's actually zoning out, albeit he had a bit of help. But the Rubik was mid too. So, Miracle, melee hero, zoning out. Nymphy and I miss our first blood. Slaughter does manage to go down. Tours everyone. It looks like Chilling Touch, Cold Feet, and Telekinesis were all used. So, getting the level 2 on Valix proving to be pretty damn vital to the slay.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard lane for him, but as long as he can get his levels, and as long as he gets something off dying, like lane control or something, it's not too bad for him, because his other 2 lanes are definitely winning, and this should be communicated along the team. Especially going on Nymphy mid, I don't think it's enough. But he has a regen rune on Miracle, so he doesn't mind expending a bit of health and mana just to put pressure. Basically going to force Nymphy to bottle crow immediately.
And they're going on Trixie bottom as well. The axes finish him off. This game has everybody getting low. Goodness gracious. Fly almost goes down to the tower, but he has enough to pop that salve. And as you said, in mid now, Miracle very happy about his laning positioning. So we are tied up at 1-1. I wanted to say it does feel like, as you said, they're expending 3 heroes up there. Moon, he's in one of those lanes where he might have to expend a little bit of... he might have to die a few times to get the experience. Is it really worth it? I mean, you are buying time. You've got 3 heroes forced up there.
If he doesn't opt to do that, he can do what he's doing now, where he tries to like pressure the Ember mid, which I like that he's doing because the lane's in a position where he can't do anything there. So Nymphy has to play even more carefully now because he should have the call from his support that the slider's coming mid.
Yeah, and when
at
this
least do something to you.
Jug is he's out leveling Nymphy right now. Oh, it's the TP bottle interaction that you hate, but. Miracle's out-leveling Nymphy. He could certainly get off an early... Oh, goodness, here comes the Octocron. Splinter Blast, Slithering Crush as well. Do they have the damage outputting? Yes, they do. They might even work on Valix. Miracle's like, yeah, I kind of wanted this, but I'm going to decide not to, because that's a tower hitting me. But wow, a really nice pickup from OG on a hero, and perfect timing. Can we just talk about how that came just before the level 6, you know? Like, doing a really good job making sure they gank him before he gets all slippery, as an Ember Spirit does.
This is just really clean play from OG. They know exactly what their heroes can do, and they know what they want to do with it. Moon's probably saying he's not getting anything top, he's getting zoned out, so he's like, right, I'm going to level up Sprint to level 2 so he can get in quicker for the ganks, and he's probably telling his Wyvern, if you come mid, we can easily get a kill here, and they communicate that, they do it in a really clean fashion. It's nice to see the Wyvern like moving around early, and not going for the defensive build.
Yep, almost getting the kill on Nymphy there with the Splinter Blast. Okay, so your stock, I think, what do you think you do here, first of all? Oh goodness, Trixie taking quite a bit of damage. No, Dale, he's just such a slower. He doesn't even have the balls up. Oh no, and you're caught in the cogs with Trixie. Whoever's TPing in, can he get out? Now, No Tail, he's in a spot of trouble. He may go down here, but no, they managed to finish off Ember Spirit mid. We don't even get to see that kill because we're concentrating on bottom. Was that the Omni Slash? It looks like that was the Omni Slash. And Trixie does manage to get out the cogs push there, saving his life, but No Tail having a grand old time on this bottom lane. I see some early rotations from stock. I feel like smoking up the Rubik and the AA should generally result in a kill. What do you think?
They have to get the 6 on clock, I think. As you say, the support's movement is going to be important this game, but I think they need to prioritize AA being top and pulling as much as he can to get level 6 early. Rubik needs to be the one moving around with the clock towards either of the cores to set up kills. Jugs, I don't think a possible kill. The only way they can stop him getting away is through hook and cogs, but he can just spin, hit the cogs and get away with face boots. He also has a haste rune now, so that's more time you can't kill him. And even though I feel like he can't die, he's opting to go for stacks now after he pushes the lane in, and he's going to be off the map for a bit. So it's even harder for Stark to do their things, and clock's still not 6, so it's going to take about a minute or two for them to be able to do anything.
Yeah, at the very least they'll get rid of this ward. It didn't have too much time left on it, but you know, it's something. So that'll be nice
Actually,
for them.
raw bottom.
Yeah, there is a primal roar, and now Trixie, he's taking so much physical damage, the axes to finish him off. Holy cow. I mean,
This is painful.
He actually has Tranquils up, which is what's even more surprising. Oh, like, Beastmaster Dazzle, huge physical damage combo, but he just doesn't have enough to withstand it time and time again. And another hero who's...
Beastmaster being ahead's really awkward for them as well. You just can't get anything in that lane.
Yeah. Really well laned from OG. The other thing I think they've done really well is now Ember Spirit 6, so they say, hey, Clockwork still isn't 6, let's delay that for as long as possible. And Beastmaster, it's certainly fine to expend that Primal Roar whenever it's up, and it looks like they're going for a wraparound using Miracle and Fly, seeing what they can get done on mid. Ember might be hard to catch. Where actually is his Remnant?
They're actually looking to wrap around
He
bottom,
doesn't have a Remnant. Yeah, Trixie's certainly the easier kill, especially if you don't know the state of the Remnant. We got Hawks coming out, gonna make sure that they have perfect eyes on Trixie. He pops up the cogs, and now that they know that that's down, Miracle can just go in. He's already popped off that the battery assault with the spin. They don't even need an ult or anything. They just walk him down with that maxed Blade Fury. That is disgusting. And now Moon gonna use a Slithering Crush. Can he steal the rune? He gets the rune.
Dire's bottom tower
This is a nightmare game for the Ember.
Yeah. He also has Remnants up, but hasn't been using them terribly liberally, and now Moon, thinking about sprinting in, being a pain in the ass, isn't able to get it. On the upside for...
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, gosh, he is, and so is this
Oh
Valix!
my god. DD haste. And he didn't even need either of those runes to get the kill, because they had no vision of him coming in.
It's super unlucky and unfair. I mean, as you pointed out, maybe you can attribute some of this to the lack of vision on the lineup of stock, but just getting super unlucky with the runes. They've lost their bottom tower. Mid looks like it's going down fast. Moon getting some involvement here too. Already has hit his level 6 as the offlaner. And Trixie, yeah, he's level 7. When is that first hook gonna come out?
I don't think they can, honestly, because they're just so far behind now. It has to be the Gyro moving to get kills now. He's their only form of damage. So maybe you look to go to his lane and get the kill, or you have to move the Gyro, but it's not simple. Like, OG are going to know it's coming as soon as they see Gyro off the map, because they have good vision in the woods, and they might have a Hawk lingering around there every now and then to scout the stacks. If they don't see him, they're just going to play passive. Or at least I hope they will, because they're playing so cleanly. They know exactly how this game's going. It's really nice to watch.
Yeah, Wyvern is also almost level 6, and the supports on stock only level 4, so a nice experienced advantage there. And 5,000 net worth at 10 minutes in. That is ridiculous. We've got Gyrocopter. Oh gosh, he's glowing funky colors, and They could certainly get a pick off here. Beastmaster coming in for the Primal Roar. Who's going to be taking it from him? He's actually choosing to use it on Valix. He should probably... Oh, he doesn't need to worry about covering that spell because Rubik isn't level 6. There's going to be a Splinter Boss killing off the AA. Arctic Burn going to finish up Rubik, and Trixie, he's in a bad spot as well. More boars coming out. Who are they going to kill next? Ember's thinking about coming in, but the spin onto Trixie doing more than enough damage. A call down going to work on No Tail, but he doesn't seem to be taking anything. Winter's Curse as well. Shallow Grave. Nemphy is down. That is a 5-man team wipe. And a huge big gold exchange. Oh, a 3k gold exchange in favor of OG. They're already, it feels like 10,000 gold ahead at 10 minutes in. How do you come back from this if you're Stalk? Is this just all very carefully positioned smokes giving up your tier 2s in hopes of not taking bad team fights?
I'd like to be optimistic for them here, but I genuinely feel like their lineup's based around fighting and pickoffs. But OG are at the point where you can't really pick them off because they're stronger than you, and they have their towers up, so you can't even like expect them to be too far away from that. Team is always going to be there. Might get a kill on...
Yeah, Rubik is very dead. Spin in the cogs. Trixie might fall as well now. Got the minus armor on top of him. Can they take down Moon? It looks like they're finally going to get a kill on their hands. That'll be a big exchange for them, and they'll take that for their Rubik, but I don't know if they can chase this. And up top, it looks like Boogie in the danger zone. No Tail, maybe he can get it, but no, the Shallow Grave comes out, and No Tail just immediately TPing out. Shallow Grave going to be more than long enough to cover that spell. So what seemed to be a nice pickoff for Stalk in the mid lane, just turning into disaster on that top.
Yeah, Boogie getting picked off there hurts because getting the kill mid is like that's one good thing you have going for you, and then something bad just instantly happens. Yeah. So
just
I wouldn't be surprised if this game's like 20 minutes before they GG.
Yeah, too
but
much.
they're gonna try.
I think that...
And actually, Link on Miracle.
Yep, gonna see what he can do up here. Moon also has his up. Valix just falling. Doesn't have any sort of escape mechanism. Throws the A blast, but it misses. It gets the frostbite proc, but Moon completely on point, making sure to dodge that, and Valix is inevitably gonna fall. It looks like there might have been action in mid as well, but we'll just follow this kill to its bitter end as the ice cream cone goes down. Ember Spirit does have an invis. Let's see if he can do it. Use the ice cream cone. Come on, you gotta know that. You play Dota.
I've not heard it before, honestly.
Oh, come on. There's gonna be a cooldown on crit. Searing Chains as well. Arctic Bone won't save you. Winter's Curse, though. Maybe there's gonna be some follow-up on Nemphy, and Jug comes in. Miracle, as you said, has that blink, but maybe he blunked way too soon. You take damage still in that spin. Does he have backup? There's the Primal Roar on Boogie, and he goes down. Can they pick up Trixie? They still have the Omni Slash, and Miracle wanting to go in here. He's just gonna auto-attack down Trixie. He actually bothers to use the Omni Slash. I'm a bit surprised. No Tail already has Necrobooks 3, just burning through this Ember Spirit, and Miracle already back up at full health with the help of his team, and I think he had... No, it was just a bounty. Yeah, he just... You know, he had a regenerate. I thought he had one, I wasn't 100% sure there, so... Gonna do very well. They're just extending this lead. They almost have a 1,000 net worth lead per minute on the lineup of OG. 18-3, it's a bit of a stomp. I want to be positive and believe that Stalk, if OG makes any type of mistake, can capitalize on this. The rubber band effect is real, but AA is level... I mean, look at these levels. AA's level 6... Rubik's level 7, and then Dazzle's level 9? You got maxed out. Oh, he actually puts a point in the Poison Touch. He hasn't even maxed out Shallow Grave and not feeling super like they need it.
Yeah, at the moment, Dark have what they need at this kind of point in the game, but when you relate it to what OG have on top of that, it's just not enough. Like, 13-minute Necro Free, that has to be like one of the fastest I've ever seen on this hero.
And he's working on that Blink Dagger next. They have a Blink Dagger on Miracle as well. You don't get to defend. They will be just jumping into your base. They have enough heroes to back them up that it isn't one of those, like, one of their heroes is slightly up on the high ground. You can take advantage of it with a cooldown, with a telekinesis. Everybody is so mobile right now on OG.
Wouldn't be surprised if Notel decides to go for a different item and maybe pick up bots or Vlad's. Just, at the moment, their cores aren't mobile enough that you need Blink. It's only the Ember, but you have the Blink on Slardar, so you can follow up the Crush.
Oh, they managed to get the Searing Chains. There's going to be a cooldown, and they're taking out the raid boss of Miracle. Huge kill for them. He just overstayed his welcome, and now they hookshot onto Moon. They should have the damage here, but the immediate Primal Roar is their follow-up. The spin coming out of the Rubik, and it looks like Trixie might be the one to fall. Shallow Grave saving Moon's life. Will he burn out here, though? Stalk, maybe the bounces? No, it doesn't look like OKC is able to get that, and Moon's going to escape. Still, a huge good kill on the Jug. That gave them probably over 1,000 gold. Yeah, we can see 1.6k gold. I mean, they got an 800 gold lead from that. At the same time, the rest of this OG lineup more than content to push by themselves. Or they can take out Roshan. I think with the Inner Beast that's already maxed out, yeah, he went the Inner Beast max, not the axes, they can just easily take Roshan with amp damage.
And Necro not being up might dissuade them a tiny bit until the drug gets there, but he's looking to make his way over now.
Yeah. Now,
The only good thing about that exchange was the Ember getting the gold.
yeah. So, and looked like, you know, it'll teach Miracle a bit of a lesson. Don't overextend right now, but looks like they're ready to go into the Roshan pit and gem on Beastmaw. So that's what I wanted to ask about. I was going to say, when is this super early gem going to come out with all of their advantages? Rocket's going to be scouting, though. Maybe they can do something about Moon. Hookshot on cooldown for 3 more seconds, so that one's coming up, and just no vision. They're actually
I'm guessing they smoked on the high ground and didn't get scouted by this ward.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like OG knows. Either way, they have so much vision. This smoke might break, the Hawk might scout them first, or the smoke might just go off cooldown.
OG playing this really well, knowing they don't have to force the rush when they don't see any of Stark's heroes.
Yeah.
Now they might actually catch them out.
Oh goodness, it looks like we've got a little bit of a catch. The spin, Valix is already dead. No-Tail actually blinks into the AA blast. He's gonna take a crap ton of damage, but there's the Shallow Grave saving him up. Trixie's gonna go down, and they manage to pick off Rubik on the backlines, and now Nemphy. Just too much physical damage for an Ember Spirit. Boogie's desperately trying to get something, but the crits coming out, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the GG call. We're 26-5, another 5-man team wipe into the pockets of OG. A 2.5 thousand gold swing. Yeah, they are
They're playing this like near perfectly. Stark aren't putting any pressure on them, so that it's hard for them to need to deviate from their plan. But even without that, they're just playing so cleanly. They know exactly what they're doing. Their calls are precise. Their movements are good. They've made 1 or 2 bad engagements, but I think that's just like you being a tiny bit cocky and overestimating your ability, and Stark being 5 heroes.
Yeah. So, now, if anything, high ground is going to be really the test of the siege, but having an Aegis up makes it easy peasy time. They can certainly throw the AA blast at the pit, but I'm not even sure how much the lineup of OG will care about a level 1 AA blast. Here comes the rocket. Let's see what else they're doing. Maybe they just smoke up here on OG, make it look like they were going for the Roshan. They know that Stark is probably coming to contest this.
Yeah, it's the one thing that could go really badly for them, I feel. High ground's fairly safe, but they actually managed to find the
Oh
Rubik.
gosh, they've got a Primal Roar coming out onto Trixie. They've immediately picked off the Rubik. Ice Blast's gonna hit no one. And now Nemphy, he's the one going down. Already has the minus Alma. A cooldown. Miracle actually jumps into it, but he's just gonna spin, not caring about any of this damage. Trixie taking way too much, uses the hookshot in hopes of locking down Miracle. But Miracle, he doesn't have that ult. Winter's Curse onto Nemphy on the other side as well. And it looks like Boogie's going down on one side. Valak's gonna go down on the other. And Ember Spirit, he is gonna maybe get out, and that is the GG. Well played. Actually, Ember goes down near the Roche pit, and that, as you said, looking like it was going to be a 20-minute game, ends up being a 17-minute game, and yeah, that was it.
I've got to be honest, I'm kind of surprised it was such a one-sided game, but OG just played really well, and Stark drafted themselves to a hole both games.
Yeah, feeling like, as you said, maybe an outdraft, maybe just OG on a different link. Either way, a great showing by both of the teams. Still pretty exciting games, even though it was one-sided. We had a lot of kills that second game, a bit faster than the first game, and yeah, I had a fun time. So, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I want to point out that Fly is rocking 0017, not having
Ooh.
died once.
Wow.
Kind of impressive.
Yeah. He should
He's
steal
actually
kills
really
more
good this
often.
game.
So.
I mean, he missed 1 grave. I think that's the only mistake he made that game.
Yeah. So, either way, a great showing out of OG, showing that they're very dominant, putting themselves up in this group. I think it's actually some of the first matches played for that group. Starlight is a group format. And that will be it for this set. We will have Alliance versus Empire, but that doesn't start for a while. I don't know if we're going to start it early. I will let you guys know as soon as I do. But either way, we'll go to a word from the sponsors and then a short break with some delicious music. That word doesn't work there, but we'll say it anyway. Once again, I'm Llama Down Under. I'm joined by PQMZ. You can see our names on the screen. PQ doesn't have social media, but we both really want to improve. So please send all of your feedback on how we can improve, bring you better calls to Llama Down Under on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. And yeah, we'll try to keep it going strong. Once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you had a great time, even though these games were a bit one-sided. And let's go to some words from the sponsors.